We can start.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Insight. First of all, everyone, all the participants are on mute, just for logistic purposes. If you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in the chat window, and I will address them to the solution expert. So let me introduce myself. My name is Surabhi Kumar. I am the director of marketing for Insight. This is a three-part web series, a webinar, which is based on the S/4HANA migration. So the first part, which we're going to talk today about, is the evaluation of how S/4HANA and how to undergo a rapid fit gap functional technical analysis and how to make a go or a no-go decision. We'll learn the best practices to map key business performances, enablers with key mapping SAP S/4HANA processes. Soon to follow, part 2 and part 3. You can see the dates out there. October 17th and October 30th is when the upcoming part 2 and 3 will be happening. We will then dive deeper into plan and migrate and how to stabilize and standardize the process. Please feel free to forward the invitation to your colleagues, to your team members, anyone you think would be interested. I would be sending out the invitations shortly. Now I would like to hand over to in the capable hands of my colleague Anudeep Bhatia, who is our solution team lead. And please go ahead, Anudeep, take it over.
Thank you, Surabhi. Is my audio clear, Surabhi?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Good morning and good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. This is in an effort of us to share the knowledge with not only our consultants, but also with our clients and from business and IT. So it's a great opportunity for folks to learn about S/4HANA. And I know some of the Insight team members are also on the call. So we appreciate your time today. This call is being recorded, as Surabhi has already may have mentioned to you, and it can be replayed for other team members who have not attended the session. So we would like to start with the assess and decide phase, where most of our clients are looking into S/4HANA and see whether it really suits their needs and what is the timing of upgrading to S/4HANA. The plan and migrate will talk about all the migration tools that are available for this, and then the last thing is on the once you go live, what are the things you need to do to stabilize and standardize the solution, right? So the agenda for this webinar is more around, of course, introducing Insight. Some of you may not have known about us, where we are, and what kind of role we play with the SAP customers today. So we'll just touch base on that just for a couple of minutes. This is not a marketing call. This is more of an educational session. So we'll restrict our discussion just on the meat of the presentation, which is S/4HANA and what the application is and how you can assess it and move forward with with moving on into the new platform. And then also as a bonus, we have a system demo are lined up for you. Some of the team members who are new to S/4HANA, they can also go over a system demo, from our solution team that they have put together for you here. A few introductions. The first one on my list is my name, so that's me here. And then Dheeraj is also online, who is also leading the solution team. And we have a couple of consultants who are S/4HANA architects, both on functional and technical side. So they'll be able to answer any questions. If you have other queries, you can always reach out to us. We'll share some of the contact information as well. Little bit about Insight. We do perform not only in the S/4HANA space, but our niche areas are also around analytics and hybrids and commerce. Moreover, Fiori UI and UX has also been our niche areas where we have been able to help customers. Fiori is a key component of the S/4HANA implementations, and we know that without the UX, S/4HANA implementations may not succeed. So it's a very key component for where we have the competency. Not only that, we also are partnered with Amazon. Most of our clients are looking for deployment options where they are partnering with AWS and bringing their own S/4HANA licenses to AWS. So a widened suite of services we offer, and SAP definitely is one of our core areas that we focus on. Within SAP, these are the key, business applications. Of course, the S4 HANA, we talked about the migration, analytics, where we have business warehouse, SAP analytics on the cloud, Hybris, CRM, other cloud solutions, as well as the Fiori applications. So quite a extensive suite of services we provide for the last 13 years being an SAP service partner. So. Delivering a global delivery model, we have an offshore team available, and what we want to deliver is a rapid deployment of this using a hybrid delivery team, both on-site and offshore, to give clients all the timely delivery and give them the maximized cost savings as well. So we do operate in that model, and we want to make sure that we can deliver the projects for our clients in a best efficient manner. Okay. So let's get into the meat of this. Other information about Insight is available on our website, which is you can see on the right-hand top corner. If you need more information or other case studies we have with SAP customers, or you can always reach out to and visit our website. So let me get into the S/4HANA, talk a little bit about a lot of our few customers may not be aware of what S/4HANA is. So a couple of introduction about the S/4HANA platform. This is a new business suite of ERP built on the in-memory computing SAP HANA platform. Not only it provides the fast access using the in-memory platform, but then also it has more simplified database that lets you not only reduce your TCO, but also can help you to get access to the information more quicker, faster. The reason being is there are next-gen technologies out there like big data or Internet of Things and social as well as mobility that needs more access of the data and more quicker access of data. And this S/4HANA platform from SAP, along with the business suite and the applications provided with S/4HANA, are very, very supportive of the other interfaces that are needed with the maybe IoT or social or mobility, as well as the big data. So S/4HANA is been there for almost 3 to 4 years, and it has been really evolving. And SAP is doing a fantastic job to bring more capabilities in this platform as we move forward. Also, the Fiori user experience, which is more role-based, is one of the key component of the S/4HANA platform. And some of the things that you would see with S/4HANA versus ERP are listed out here. We'll be sharing this deck, but this is just a high-level understanding on, the ERP suite was more around working on any database, but S/4HANA, of course, prerequisites that it works only on the S/4HANA database. So we'll talk about this more into the assessment side of things when we talk about the functional and the technical assessment. But some of the key ones that we have listed out are already in here. Right? The different scenarios of how an existing SAP customer or an existing ERP customer, doesn't matter whether a customer is using SAP or any other ERP, or they do have an option of moving to S/4HANA. So there is an option of a brand new implementation within S/4HANA where you start from scratch like a greenfield, and you can either restart your implementation from your existing, or you can also have a non-SAP system that you can start a greenfield S/4HANA implementation. SAP has provided a lot of migration tools where customers can rapidly deploy the migration from in a new implementation and move it to the S/4HANA platform. The second is a system conversion, where an existing ERP customer can do a conversion where they don't have to make a new implementation. They can just convert their existing data, upgrade their existing application into the S4HANA, and SAP and has provided many best practices that we leverage for our projects to make sure that you follow some of the best practices to do that conversion. And the third thing is a landscape transformation, where you have different type of ERPs and you can move them in a segregated manner into either on-premise solution or the cloud solution. Okay. So we'll talk more about the approach here. In the approach, basically today we are going to talk about the first column, which is more assessing and deciding it, where what kind of functional assessment and technical assessment is needed, what kind of S4 deployment options are required, and what kind of strategies and go no go decisions have to be made before you go into the planning and migration phase of the project. But the planning and migration involves the project plans. Insight works with many customers, and we already have a pre-built plans and accelerators that can be rapidly deployed for your projects, as well as tools that SAP has provided as well to migrate your data and do the testing. Now, all this work is already compatible within the solution manager. So SAP Solution Manager has predefined content for you to use as for HANA migration as one of your projects, to manage it and also to support it on an ongoing basis. And of course, on the right side is your stabilization and standardization, whether your org training is all completed, what are the different opportunities to make more improvements going forward, and whether the solution is accepted by your business team. So so this methodology is what we are going to talk a little bit more on the assess and decide today. This is a little more detailed view of the assess and decide phase on discovering, preparing, and exploring it. Now, they have been also itemized into what are the key components you need to do from a functional perspective and from a technical perspective. So if you see here on the functional side, definitely more work is needed on the fit gap analysis. Some of the data volume planning also needs to be done to know how many volume of transactions you would be using. And there are there are different type of calculators that can help you to do some kind of data volume and design planning. On the technical side as well, talking about the sizing and also talking about some of the UX and user experience. So um, uh, the it is kind of very detailed to do the assessment and decide, and doing the discovery and exploring it to make sure that there are some also SAP and even Insight has predefined demos ready for your business that you can go and start showing them. You can have a trial system provisioning as well as part of your phase of assessment, where a business can take a look at what kind of processes are available for them to leverage with the S4 HANA application. So um, back to the accelerators that are out there, and how Insight can leverage them for the project is around the best practices, the guided configuration, step-by-step configuration on what things needs to be done and what are the methodologies to be used. And all of this is built into the solution builder and solution manager for you to manage it more effectively as well. I'm going to go into a little bit more high-level task here on what kind of checks you need to do in this phase of the project before you make a decision, more around whether your system is more compatible. ECC 6.0 Enhancement Pack 8 is one of the eligibility check that you need to do to make sure that these technical prerequisites are met. A single ABAP stack Unicode compliant, right? Those kind of things have to be checked. And then you get into more of a functional check on whether your supported business functions and your industry solutions are available in the new system, whether it is on-premise or cloud or hybrid. That's a very key process mapping that needs to be done to make sure that what your business is using the application for today will be supported within the S4HANA application. Also doing some kind of pre-checks, which we are going to talk about later, what kind of pre-checks you have to do, and what are the before the technical conversion, and whether there are no surprises later. Those checks can be done in this phase of the project, so you can estimate the scope. And last but not the least is your custom development check, which is a very key component, where we have detailed some information on what kind of custom development you have been having in your SAP system for a while, and how to go and tackle the custom development. Just to let some of the folks know that within the S4 HANA implementation, some of the code may or may not be used. Some of the code has to be converted. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the custom development and how to kind of clean them and reuse them for the S4 HANA implementation, right? So on the functional side of the assessment, this some of the checklist items that are out here is, of course, your standard business functions. They need to be activated. Some of the customization settings and process mapping needs to be available. Data availability is one of the key things, whether your data availability and how the data will be leveraged. Now, on the functional side, some of the things you will encounter is more about the concept. For example, in ECC, you have a customer master, but in the new S4 HANA, you have business partner concept for customers and vendors. So those kind of master data conversions and those things have to be thought through of what is going to be your impact moving into S4 HANA. If you have any interfaces with your ERP system on these objects, then they need to be also taken care of how they will get impacted. So a functional assessment will be more around your process checks to make sure the processes are available. On the technical side, as we are going to talk about your system compliant, your sizing, your Unicode compliance, if you are upgrading from an existing ERP to an S4 HANA system. And most importantly, your custom code checks that we are going to talk about in the next slide. So SAP also has a readiness check tool available. It's a cloud-based tool provided by SAP. And you will observe that the tool will go into a system, and you can definitely have it free if you have a maintenance agreement with SAP, which I believe most of our customers have. And they can give you a bit like a report or an analysis report on the functional side. First of all, what kind of Fiori applications or Fiori apps will be replacing your existing transactions. And also they will also talk about what are the simplification items that are going to happen in terms of improvements that you can expect by going into the S4 HANA. On the technical side, SCP tool could also assist on the sizing, the custom code impact, the volume, and also some of the extractors that are currently in place. So the tool is available, and some of the dashboards that they come out of the tool are going to be like this. If you want to run this readiness check on your system, we can have some more detailed demo. But in the assessment phase, you do need to look into your, first of all, your sizing on the right hand side. You know how your sizing would, what are the memory requirements for you to move to S4 HANA, what kind of Fiori apps are recommended by roles, and what kind of compatibility and what kind of active business functions are there to be moved on, right? So some of the things you will see on the custom code analysis will also provide you what functionality is not supported anymore and how you are going to go ahead and make those code changes before you move on. So those estimate for code changes is one of the key areas before you can move forward with your S4HANA implementation. The custom code readiness, of course, some of the things that you can look forward to is to retire your custom code that is not used. So you need to see there are estimates that 40 to 50% of the code that is in the system is not even used by the users today. So looking into those codes, finding what actually that is, and maybe may not want to use it, rewrite some of the code that are basically now HANA compliant. And if there are any core mods available, then we need to make those manual corrections to that code and make sure they're compliant with the S4 HANA. Also, SAP has different tools available to look into your code. SCI, the code inspector, and SCMon, which is your call monitor. It can help you to monitor the usage of your code, as well as it can also list the business transactions that are being called with these ABAP objects, that you can get an idea on what kind of code is out there for you to work on, and make sure they are compliant before you upgrade to S4 HANA. Just a little more detail on the custom code on. So I'm going to skip this one. I think I've covered in the previous slide. When it comes to deployment option, what is the right choice for you is depends on the organization. A rapid deployment definitely can happen on the S4 HANA cloud. If you have a light functionality and your business processes are not very complex, we would suggest to make the right choice to go to the S4 HANA cloud. The reason being is you don't have to invest in any technical support capabilities. The upgrades are very much automated. You don't have to worry about those upgrades, but you need to watch for what those upgrades are so you can manage with your business. And also the deployment time is very faster. The only downside is that it is less scalable because not all functionality that is available on premise is available on the cloud. So based on your business processes, HANA S4 HANA Cloud could also be one of the options that is there. However, we are seeing a lot of customers who are using on-premise are basically migrating to S4 HANA more on-premise, where the complexity is a little more higher, and they feel that S4 HANA Cloud may not meet their all their requirements as of now, because on-premise definitely brings a full range of functionality, and it is a little more scalable than in terms of the business processes. Insight is a partner of Amazon, and SAP HANA Cloud and SAP Cloud are already there. But I just wanted to let you know that Amazon and SAP have also partnered, where you can have AWS also as one of your home for your S4 HANA applications. So if you bring your license, you can leverage investments made by AWS with and you can bring in your license and use AWS architecture infrastructure to support your and use your S4 HANA application. If there is any interest from anyone, we can please reach out to us, and we'll be able to assist you with that as well. So different options are available on AWS for S4 HANA. You bring your own license, and you can, all the supported HANA scenarios are available on AWS, as well as there are other options, and Express Edition. There's a SAP HANA one where you can bring a native HANA application or analytics or big data to use on AWS. If there is any interest from anyone in that area, then so this is a key component to decide before you go into the next phase, is what kind of deployment option would you go for based on your technical and functional assessment. And then there are different choices which are available, with different market. SAP has partnered with not only AWS but with Google and IBM as well to find what is the right hosting environment for the SAP S4 HANA. The SAP Fiori for S4 HANA as part of the UX is one of the key component. The new web-based Fiori UI is a radical change. It looks completely different from the outdated GUI interface. So there is a technical configuration of Fiori UI, which definitely can be long process, but because of the rapid deployment option and customers who are really seeking to move quickly on the S4 HANA, the recommended approach is to have more of a phased approach for UX, where you can have a limited Fiori adoption while converting to S4 HANA, and you can plan more apps for you for deployment after the conversion. So if you see today, the functional based applications now going to be the role based applications. There will be extensive work needed to map your security roles and your business roles into the new UX in Fiori. And as part of the system demo, Our team is also going to show you how the new UX looks like. So we have a small demo for you, also for customers who want to take a sneak preview of the S4 HANA. And one of the key component of this phase of the UX is to make sure that the user gets the best benefit of the user experience, because that is where we have seen SAP on-prem ERP solution lacking some of those functionality. But the revolutionary Fury on the UX side has been very much adopted by customers, and well received by the business users. And we need to take the best advantage of the UX as part of the S4 HANA migration. Insight does assist in Fury in terms of developing additional apps for you, and if there are any other custom Fury apps that are needed for that, and we have a 3D approach to do an UX implementation and add more apps for you in your portfolio and in your catalog. Um, as we move forward with your S4 HANA, and based on the priority needs, we will be able to assist with a 3D approach while prototyping and deploying those apps for you as you move forward with your S4 HANA and start using them and stabilizing them. So having said that, I am going to relay this presentation to our solution team, Sanjay and Prabhakar. They're going to show you a quick demo they have put together on the S4 HANA solution that we have in our demo environment. It is an on-prem solution, and for some of the folks who have not been exposed to SAP S4 HANA yet, or they are still considering, this could be a good overview for the audience to take a little look on how the new experience works. And Sanjay, with that, I would like you to unmute yourself and quickly talk about this scenario that we have cherry picked for the demo today, which is more into supply chain. And if you see, we have three business roles that we will be using for the S4 HANA demo here. We have a material planner role. Basically, a material planner would be able to review the stock and understand what kind of requisitions are needed for that stock. The purchase order creator is another business role, which will go through the requisition to the purchase order process. And then you have a warehouse clerk who has to go in and receive the products and make sure the stock has been confirmed. So with that, we would like to have Sanjay to basically take over and present the demonstration. Sanjay, is there anything? Okay, I'm going to go back to this one. Sanjay, you can
Yeah,
go ahead and share it. I'm going to.
yeah, thank you. Thanks, Anudeep, for briefing this particular demo. So scenario has been well explained by Anudeep. So I will just take up to you with the basics SAP screen, which is SAP GUI, traditionally, which we are using from years together. So from here, we can, with the application code of or launching pad of Fury, we can launch the Fury. We can launch our Fury launchpad from here with this transaction code, which traditionally or typically will looks like the basic home screen of this particular Fury apps, and it can be managed with the tiles and the various roles depending upon functional roles, team roles, and so on and so forth. So as a standard deliverable, you can have as many as roles you want for your entire business application. Depending upon the requirement, we can reconfigure and rearrange them as per our requirement. So as explained by Anudeep earlier, what I'm going to show you a basic business scenario or the purchase to pay procurement process, which generally start with the planner when he analyze the stock at a particular level. So this is the tile which I'm using it for the display warehouse stock, which is in the role of basically a material planner. So material planner will execute a available stock report by using this display warehouse stock material report, and he will enter the plant in which he is traditionally operating. Okay. So this is execution of the report is happening. So it has been identified for the sake of our uh, demo, we are taking this particular material is in very limited quantity as per my requirement. So I'm picking up this particular material for my purchase requisition creation, or I need this material now in my particular plant and storage location as such. So from that point of view, I will be raising, or as a user material planner, I will be raising a purchase requisition. So I'm moving to my next style, or the next Fury app, which is create purchase requisition. So I'm just moving on that. So here traditionally he will pick up the material. So this is what was the material, which was traditionally EWS S4. Okay, so this is the material. Let's example, as a planner, I want to buy 100 quantity, and I want to buy it in the plant once. My plant, my purchase group 0001 and let's example I am a requisitioner over here. Considering all those details, we'll go to the next part, which is where I want to assign the source of supply for this particular material to this. Sorry. So we'll go for source of supply. So this is what is my purchasing organization. (1710) is my plant for which I wanted to buy. So I'm going for the source assignment, which is typically from where I want to buy material. So here I have put in my entire source of supply. So I just, let's example, as a buyer, I am, or rather as a planner, I want to assign this particular source of supply. With this check, I'm again performing my system checks, whether my entire data set and the requirement is right. And then I'm just going to save this particular purchase requisition. So this is the all are predominantly looking at the Fury apps as a new thing. We have developed entire our demo into the Fury apps as such. So we are not using traditional GUI applications or application code, transaction codes. We are using the Fury apps. So this is what is the purchase requisition, which has been created as a 005. So we'll now go to the purchase order creation step, where I have already kept it open just in the interest of our time. So my purchase requisition is available over here with source assignment. On the purchase order tile or purchase order app, I am just dragging and dropping this particular application. Oh, sorry, this is my data, which has been used for the transactional creation. Okay, so entire data got copied from my purchase requisition. Since the source assignment is there, entire data like purchase organization, purchasing group, everything can be copied from the purchase requisition. So pricing is picked up from the info record, which is data which was already maintained, and so on and so forth. So I'm just checking the data with the system requirement per se. Seems to be okay. So I will be again saving this particular purchase order. Now I have converted as a purchaser of this particular, in the purchaser role, I have created the purchase order, which I can communicate it to my vendor via email or via fax, or for that matter, a print order as well. So this is what is my purchase order has been created. Now earlier I was a planner, now I am a purchaser. Now since order has gone to the vendor, vendor has dispatched goods, and which I have received in my warehouse, which I need to perform a goods receipt. So with this purchase order number 8, when goods are actually received, I will be performing the goods receipt around that. So this is my purchase order which I have given to vendor. So I'm just entering that number. So all the data, the material which I have ordered for the particular storage location for which I wanted to pick up the things, and so on and so forth. So these things will be picked up over here from my purchase order. Considering that this is a posting date and document date, which I'm going to put it over here. That's for my transactional date or transactional posting date. So reviewing the data which I am receiving, like this particular specified material, whether I received it with the open quantity or other the received quantities, what is the unit of measurement, in which plant and storage location I am receiving it. Considering all those things, I will be, after checking that, as a warehouse clerk or warehouse in charge, I will be posting this goods receipt. So this material document or the goods receipt has been posted in the system. Now, after this posting, this is our current stock level, or rather this was our current stock level as a 7 pieces. Now we will just rerun this particular report. You can see the stock has increased by 100 quantity again, which is 107 pieces. Now after this, we'll follow our regular process of invoice verification and then so on and so forth for the payment of that particular vendor. So this is what is the roughly a procurement to pay process per se, which is generally it's been followed for the general kind of procurement in any size, any type of industry as such, that we showcased over here with the help of Fury apps. This was the fundamental change in your GUI based application and the Fury based launchpads as such. As a capability for the customized screens, we can develop the customized Fury. That capabilities also we have with our team as such. So Prabhakar Gade is the person who is managing the Fury side of applications per se. So these kind of capabilities also we have with us. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate as a purchase to pay basic procurement process. So it's done with me. Anudeep Surabhi, if you want to take it up.
Okay, so you're done. Is that all, Sanjay, for now?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, great. So basically, we are pretty much at the end of this session right now. We wanted to leave 5-10 minutes for the questions, but even if you don't have any questions right now, we'll be emailing you a recording of this session along with any question and answers that you might have for the team, actually. But Surabhi, did you receive any immediate questions from anyone that we can answer right now?
No, I don't think anyone's asked any questions as of now. Yeah, the invitation is open. If anybody does want to ask, or we have the recording, we will also be putting it up on our website. So if anyone wants to access it, they can access it from there and reach out to us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for everyone for joining.
Thank you, everybody, for the meeting.
Looking forward to the next session. So thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.